Okay, we're fixing to head in the attic with some PEX pipe. This is 1/2-inch PEX, any color is fine. I do recommend the 10-foot sticks of PEX, it's more rigid. This is coiled PEX, either one will work. You want to go up with a drill and a drill bit. You want to use a drill bit, focus in. That's bigger than the pipe by quite a bit. You don't want to try to drill a small hole and try to work through a small hole. This is a wood bit. It drills a nice hole fast. You also need to take a pair of cutters for the PEX. Come a little closer. This has a blade on it like this, and you just put it over the PEX, cut it, makes a nice clean cut. Now another thing you want to go in the attic with is a long sleeve shirt, a mask because there's a lot of dust up there, and a headlamp. You definitely want a headlamp so you can see where you're going. And that leaves your hands free to work with. I'll put this on when I get upstairs. See you upstairs. There we go. Okay. Alrighty, we're in the attic. My attic, I've already pre-wired with lights. Helps a lot to have that. And I have some decking down for the floor for storage and easy maneuverability in the attic. We're looking for 2 pipes that come up through the walls, and we're getting closer to those. I've already placed some decking here to walk on. We're going out to the edge of the house where there's limited space. So you need to have a place to set your feet on and to be safe. There's one of the PVC pipes right there, and over here we have the other PVC pipe. They're about 5 feet apart, and that's the distance between the 2 walls. I just repositioned the light so we can see better up here. I drill a hole right there beside the pipe, the white vent pipe. I tried shoving the tubing down there and it didn't work. It hung up on something. So I moved over, no problems, just move over a foot or so, drill another hole. You're drilling in the wall between the 2 pieces of sheetrock. There's a 2x4 stud and a 2x4 cap. We're drilling through the cap. Usually there's 2 2x4s in the top part of the wall. Now you can see the fitting I've put here. The PEX pipe went down the wall, and I used a quick connect shark bite fittings. The color of the PEX is not important. It comes in white, blue, and red. Any color is fine because this is a repair. The colors are for initial installation of a house to keep track of the hot water, which will be red, and the cold water will be blue. But this is all hot water. And over here we have the other hole. It's drilled right beside the vent pipe. And we forced it down the wall, just like I told you before from below. There was just enough space for the tubing. And it is joined together by this quick connect shark bite. It makes a good fitting, and it's quick, and you don't have to worry about the clamping of the regular PEX tool. The final step is to turn the water on from the hot water heater and check for leaks. Of course, when you're cutting the pipe, as I mentioned earlier, you don't have any pressure on the water line. You cut it off at the hot water heater. And if you cut the right line, you should see water disappear from that bad tubing and go back into the ground. This stage is repairing a wall where the hole was cut. Remember I told you earlier I didn't cut a big enough hole, so I cut 2 holes. This was the first hole I cut. Second hole was this area here, which has been repaired already. So you take the pieces and put them back in just the way they came out. Wedge it in there. Then when it's in there good, you nail it to the 2x4. And once that's secure, you have some plaster. It's called joint compound. Take a little bit on a spatula and you rub it on the joints. I haven't nailed this piece yet, so it's still moving, but you would nail it first and then do this. When you put a first layer of the joint compound, let it dry, you'll see some areas of shrinkage like this. So you put a second layer over. You let that dry for a few hours, usually 4 hours. Come back and sand it, and then you could texture this area with a spray can of texture to get this pattern back. If it's not in a highly visible area like behind my wash machine, I probably would not texture it. I would just leave it this finish. But this will be behind the toilet, so I will do a little nicer job, texture it, and then get some paint that's originally this color. I still have a can of original paint, and paint over just the texture area and the finished repair area. You don't have to paint the whole wall. It will look just fine by spot painting. If you hire a plumber to do the bypass of the broken pipe in the slab, they do not repair the wall. So here I've put the pieces back in the wall. I've put joint compound in the cracks after the pieces were nailed to the wall. Then joint compound was placed in the cracks. The last thing to do is to texture the wall to get it looking like it was before. And you can buy this little texture in a can. It doesn't work that great, but at least it does something. Shake it well. And then you spray in spurts. Hold the can about 6 to 8 inches from the wall. And just little spurts of plaster. The can says to let that dry for about 1 to 2 hours. Then you take a plaster spatula and you gently would drag it down. Now it's not near dry enough, and I'm just showing you the technique after it dries to gently knock it down so it's not so rough. And you get a texture similar to what you had before. Then, if you have some old paint left over from the house or the paint number, you can go back and paint this after it's thoroughly dry, and only painting the area you repaired. You don't need to paint the whole room. You might be a little confused on how you determine which pipe to cut. I'm going to review this with you now. The warm floor was between the laundry room and the vanity sink in the bathroom. So I'm simulated here the wall in the laundry room. You put your hand on the pipes. These are cold, these are warm. There's a leak in the foundation, so there's hot water circulating through these pipes constantly, wasting electricity and water. So to determine which of these two hot pipes go to the vanity, it could be either one of these. So you cut the water off at the hot water heater for about an hour or two, and you place an ice pack right here on these two hot pipes. After about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, you remove the ice pack, and you will turn the faucet on behind the wash machine and hook it to a garden hose or something so that you can turn that faucet on. You turn that faucet on full blast, and you go back to the hot water heater and you turn it on full blast. Then you use your little laser sensor and test these two pipes. The hot water flowing fastest to the wash machine area is going to be the hottest by at least 5 degrees, maybe 10. You also check this one. This should be a little cooler. So this is probably going to be like 88. This will be like 81, maybe even in the 70s. Right now the temperature gauge is not important because we're just simulating. So the cooler of these two pipes is the one that goes down underground to the vanity. You would cut it right across here someplace so you have room on either side in case you ever need to repair it again. And God forbid you cut the wrong pipe, you'll have to repair this one and go back to this one. If you'll do this simple test, figure out which pipe is the hottest, you will know that that's the good pipe going to your wash machine. This is the bad pipe going under the ground to the vanity. Up here now. So I hope this helps you figure out what's going on your plumbing problems. If you're a handyman and can change your kitchen faucet out, you can handle this job. If not, forget it, call a plumber. Expect a $2,000 bill. Have fun.